much food coming overseas. One disruption bring the country to knees. One storm, one war, one delay. Supermarket shelves empty same day. So we have to plant more yam and dasheen. Fresh vegetables keep the people clean. Raise more goat, more chicken too. Local farming must come true. Every backyard can grow something. Pepper, thyme and pumpkin. Teach the youth we love the soil. Agriculture reward the tile. Hey, if the import stop tomorrow, who gon' feed we through the sorrow? Dig the soil and make it grow. Food security run the show. If the import stop tomorrow, hey, who gon' feed we through the sorrow? Dig the soil and make it grow. Food security run the show. Food security, that's the priority. Plant the food locally. Feed the whole community. Everything agriculture. Building for the future. Hey, Bankie and Yahsonn bringing solutions for the islands and the nation. Cannabis industry growing fast, creating opportunities built to last. Medicinal herbs and business too. Education changing how we view. Greenhouse farming changing the game. Hydroponics helping the grain. Fishery, livestock, fruit tree line. Agriculture make the island shine. Support local every chance I get. Farmer working hard, don't forget. No nation strong if the people can't eat. Local food keep the country complete. Wave your hand for the farmers them. Wave your hand for the growers them. Plant more food, grow more food. Feed the nation like we should. From St. Kitts straight across Nevis side. Food security must be the guide. Aye. 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 No country safe without local crops. Never stops. Never stops. From the mountains to the sea. Farming bring prosperity. Food security. That's the priority. Plant the food locally. Feed the whole community. Everything agriculture. Building for the future. Bankie and Yahsonn every week now. Ren bring the real solution. It's everything agriculture with Bankie and Yahsonn. Catch us live every week on Real Entertainment Network. Watch on Facebook and YouTube, Ren TV. Everything agriculture, where food security is everybody business.
Okay, yeah. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Everything Agriculture. I don't know if you're hearing me on my side, but if you are, I guess then I say
Hear me
greetings,
now?
but I'm okay, yeah, hearing you loud and clear now. All right. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Everything Agriculture. I know it's been a while. We have not been on the platform with an edition of Everything Agriculture. It's a beautiful Friday evening here on Queen City, Nevis, Oli. That's the indigenous name for the island, Oli, and that's the name I opt to utilize, especially in these times. I think more than ever, our people need to begin to focus on a bit more of our roots. I want to say good evening to our brothers and sisters throughout the entire Eastern Caribbean, our visitors and friends and family, those who are returning home for the festival, for Culturama, and or to just visit and spend some time with us. And those of you who are visiting for the first time, who probably would have heard about the festival and heard about the summer lime and just wanted to be with us. Some of our friends and families from the UK. I do see a number of folks I've met a number of folks from the UK as I move around, some from the US. And we welcome you from wherever you are around the world. Come and spend some time with us, have some fun, learn about our beautiful island. And so you can go back and share the experience and encourage even more people to come and visit. Yes, we welcome you to come and visit and eventually to invest in our economy and be a part of our development as well. That is also, most welcome. We want to say morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are geographically. Some one of those greetings may be applicable to you. This evening, my co-host and I would be engaging you in a very interesting topic, and I think this evening is just going to be us. So, one of the things that I think we're going to do pretty early is open up the lines pretty early as well, because we, in time sometimes don't get to give our listeners as much opportunity to engage with us. But we're going to have a little bit of our opening, discussions and engagement, and then we're going to open up the lines pretty quickly and or engage with the comments that you put on the platform. So look looking forward to that. As we say, welcome Bankie, welcome to this edition of Everything Agriculture.
Yes, and good evening to our guests. And we want to thank them for tuning in and choosing Real Entertainment Network and tuning to Everything Agriculture Show on another Friday evening. Today is full blast when it comes to the children parade. Today was also government is closed down at 2. Some offices, private offices at midday, and customer would be at a full work. Everybody trying to get in their last stuff because it's a long holiday weekend up until Wednesday. Monday is holiday, Tuesday is a holiday, and stuff like that. So already see Monday is Jubilee morning, so already see the bands them setting up and all the different stuff. So I just want to say, since this is the season, have people visiting and stuff like that, I want to give a shout out to some of the small businesses. If you're looking for certain places to go, excuse me, those the Taste of the Caribbean restaurant over there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which you all Stapleton and then guys Brown out there, chill out, the Nevis restaurant over there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you're in town, just check out that. The address is 2720 Central Avenue, Southeast, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And you got the telephone number if you want. That is 505-503-8428. You give that number a call and you get some nice tasty stuff. The Nevis culture right there. All right. Plate I see here look very beautiful and luscious with red peas and rice. Yeah, man. So big up Virgin all over there and all them guys over there hang out at the New Mexico. I also hear in Nevis, want to shout out Dylan's Delight for the top of Credit Code there. You know what I mean? Great chef. I think he take part in that thing there. What do you call it? The grill fest over in St. Kitts, along with Joel and her brother there, Ralston. So those were the folks from News who went down at the grill fest. So all are good chefs, so not people really enjoy the food and stuff like that. Also, while you're around, you check out If you look in taxi, you know, you have Imperial Rise, but also have one shout out Shango, Dusty, also Jason Taxi Service, Alenga, you know, a lot of stuff people that just too much crowd coming, so one man can't do it. So I'll leave the man up on the hustle, Fabian. Just look out for those guys over there at the taxi stop. And when you come off at the water place over there at Oli, you check out Allen guys outside. Those are good and safe people to give a chance. And I'm not forgetting Dance Nasmi, Virgin Junie. Yeah. All right. Also, you go along, big up over there in St. Kitts, Guy Joe's up in Station Street and the Virgin Suites down there in Old Road. Some good people down there. So check out them people also. And White's Kitchen there in Barnes good. Nurse White. If you don't feel like cooking over this long weekend, Nurse White's doing the cooking. So check her out. And also over there in St. Kitts, up in New York, Kimmy's Yum Yum. The girl Kimmy is up there, so check out Kimmy, and we got some delicious treats on the weekend. Young people on the hustle. So Yahsonn, this evening definitely we're going to be talking about agriculture and how the agriculture can be one of those things when it comes to diversified economy. If we tend to take it serious, like how we take any other projects when it comes to selling of passport, and it shows the time will come where Nevis and Kidishus in the line of Antigua where they're going to lose all visa access and even other documents. And so are going to come under vetting and stuff like that eventually, and all these things. And that's just the mind to call these politicians is not going to shut down the CBI by no means. All these projects that you see that they're putting out, whether it's the Bastia High School, the hospital, everything is CBI, selling off passport, giving shares. If you get 20 shares, many times by 3 or 4. You see what I mean? So it's so easy. In some areas, the minimum by law is like 175, and then some start up, depending on the project, is 325, and it depends 450, 500,000 US and all this different stuff. But agriculture is one of those sectors. In Asia, the number one business, you know, in Padang, the place over there, Jakarta, is oil, and the number 2 is agriculture. In the US, the military have the biggest number when it comes to, and then agriculture. Only so in the Caribbean, we put in agriculture at the bottom of the list. Things that don't make no sense. We used to send food all over through the Caribbean. The car we spoke to Mr. Willie Doe here, how farming was back in those days. 15 acres of avocados, export 180,000 pounds of nuts and all that different stuff. The conversation already have been had, and the work have been done. Is not like these things can continue, you know. But you see, we already created when we was there. A feed bank was created at Indian Castle because I see the concept where agro-processing unit needed to have a space because they're not having enough produce when it comes to agro-processing. The outside is not enough. So if you want me to agro-processing, you have to do a lot of planting. If you want to make him banana flour, planting flour, cassava flour, Virgin, you're going to run out. It's like you're living in your savings. And the same thing it goes when the processing, you know. So if you want to sell sauce up tea bag, you just work with one sauce up tree. You're so quick to pick off all the leaves. So whatever you're into, you have to continue doing planting. And it's just to see when, I mean, this is cultural time. And you could show us agriculture have been failing big time. This is one time, you know, the Minister of Agriculture and the Premier himself, and what we're speaking, and the folks coming down to visit the Indian Castle orchard and stuff like that. Well, last year, didn't talk about the orchard, but the mute, the mute when he come to Indian Castle, you hear about it and say he went on there sometimes and it looked like they want some water. That's all they see. And you know, that is just being ingenuous. Can that make no sense? But he can't speak no more because he'll make it. His minister, the whole cabinet have failed. Just that alone to see all that money being put into agriculture and the state where workers is there working, you know. And this is what's going on in the world. The Premier said 1 jelly in St. Bart's cost $75, you know, is €5. So how can you let something like that when I just be my uncle man's a place who have died, make it 3 years now. October make 2 years, and I've been there for less than 18 months. And I have jelly tree planted smaller than me half of me hand up to my elbow. and my pinky finger, and then some of them done a flower. Done a flower. I mean, does these things make any sense? Somebody to be accountable, the whole cabinet have to be accountable for this. That's just it. I mark hard, and I don't accept failure when something is handed over. And the same thing when it comes to when things are turned off the government and machinery, they don't take care of them. How would you just have food and mash up like a so? And workers is there working every day. No vote for Evelyn, now for the premier, now for Spencer Brand, now for try no, but everybody need fire and veggies. It's a food you talk about, We're talking about all the importation, the high cost of fuel and all this thing, but if we die, because food is the most important fuel. Where you gonna eat? Stone is our fuel. You got a car, whatever your electric car or whatever it is, you have to charge it. Because the fuel is our fuel. That is the reality. We see how the kind of sun that we have. We never had a summer like this before. We haven't been getting any rain since March. But this is different. So it shows we're going to have to go into more greenhouse technology and not real smart agriculture. Stop overplowing our land and all these things, but we're not putting policies in place. If we're going to do this right, if we are serious, we must have to have land policies. Okay, you see what happening now? We're buying up all the land is going to give way for large settlements, homeowners association. You see what I mean? Everything look like color, the same thing, well manicured. You can't sell your home to nobody except all this different stuff. I understand homeowners association. That's what Mr. Jensen said. It's all this thing. But if we're going to have Mount Traverse Estate already sold again, whether to a private individual, we got this is in place where investors cannot be buying land over 10 acres and stuff like that and depend on development. That's enough land to have a development. Some people tell me we don't even need a development no more. Hotels on the island, people who work in Bermuda and stuff like that, we just have to find different ways. The government have to have a role where they put things in place where when large acres of land are selling, the government buy the land for the market price. We are mismanaging our resources and not taking agriculture serious. Without this thing, we will keep importing food and then we keep developing all these non-communicable diseases. And then we're going to blame, who are we going to be blaming? Is ourselves to be blamed. Once the failure of Indian Castle and people continue voting to accept this, it shows that the people, you can't take them serious, because this have nothing to do with politics. This have to do with our survival. You can't tell me people are Indian Castle and Gingerland when they see me, them about Indian Castle, and they watch the evil in the face and accept these kind of things here. I mean, this is madness. I just call things for what it is, because the time I put in when I get up in the morning.
It's everything agriculture with Bankie and Yahsonn. Talking food security, cannabis, farming, livestock.
Got cut out there. Yeah, people. Serious discussion. The topic this evening is CBI is ending. Can agriculture,
You can hear me, Yahsonn?
Yeah, hearing you now. Yeah.
All right. Which part I get cut off?
But I don't know, because I realized you got cut off and I just started to talk to kind of fill the void. And we're having a little bit of technical difficulty as well because we were not on the screen, but I guess now we're back. So, people, it's one of those days and it's one of those evenings. So things are happening, but we're here with you, and we're gonna continue with this discussion this evening. CBI was a support pillar, not a forever plan. CBI helped finance government spending, support construction, and stabilize the economy for years. But recent IMF reports show those revenues have dropped significantly and are expected to stay lower. That means the country cannot keep depending on one volatile revenue source indefinitely. And that's something that, we should have known and ought to have known. But, Bankie, as we're moving on to celebrate, as we would say within Rastafari, celebrate emancipation. You know, just based on the fact that we don't even have anything planned to represent emancipation as it is. Because emancipation then now is not going to fall for death. Well, it is going to be still the 1st of August, but they are going to celebrate the walk up and drink rum and forget
But
about,
that is,
you know what I mean?
but that is the celebration, yes, son. We stories. What kind of
That is the
celebration you want
celebration.
to see?
No.
So what kind of
How you
celebration you want to
mean?
see happen? That is
So
the celebration. That's
I
what's
hear
on
you.
that day.
Yeah, I hear
Ain't that
you.
why the
And that is
reason?
the reason.
That is not the
And that is
reason.
the reason. That is the reason why I am saying we can't expect much better when that is the mindset, because the mindset is to, as much as possible, seemingly get away from anything to do with
Well,
our story.
well,
Hold on,
this is the
Bankie.
reason
Hold
why.
on. I'm saying this, right? I'm saying this because here is it, we're talking about agriculture and it ties in. One of the reasons why governments in the past and even present are not zooming in on agriculture is because they're still seeking to add the slavery sentimentality, that it was hard work and it reminds them of slavery and all those kind of things. And that is why they seek to diversify the economy and got into things like offshore banking and tourism and CBI when they have agriculture right in front of their faces. Come on, it's the same lands the Europeans used to make themselves millionaires and billionaires. They got us and our foreparents to work the plantations. And then even when they got emancipation, and this is why I'm saying these things at this time should really be recognized, and they should have events where there's poetry, drumming, dramatization. You know, these things that they're teaching in the school should tie into a celebration of emancipation. I think countries like St. Lucia has a more vibrant celebration of Emancipation Day where you have those things going on. Not just no walk up and drink rum and go walk up yourself and don't even say nothing about emancipation. They actually have something that speaks to the struggle and what we went through and what we had to deal with, so people get to understand really and truly, boy, when we got emancipated, we still had to work another 4 years for free, while some people were compensated, and the last payment made on their compensation plan was in 2015, while they're telling us forget about reparations, and we should forget about them things, because them things don't happen a long time. But they all tie into what we are dealing with today. So they went into CBI and things like that, to the point where CBI was responsible for 60%, almost 60% of the budget for St. Kitts and Nevis, and similarly has high ratings in the budgets for some of these countries' survival. And some of these countries could have gone back into some of the, look, we got mango here. We ain't got mango orchard. We could grow things like soursop and avocado. We used to grow these things. We just spoke about that. Willie Do tell us how Nevis used to, not Willie Do alone, the history of Nevis. They said that 20% of the food in the entire Caribbean used to come from Nevis that was sent to Britain. So what we need to do now, instead of sending it to Britain, invest in the value-added manufacturing capabilities so we could create the value-added. We could create the value-added products that we could now put on the market and meet whatever specification, whether it's USDA, FDA, whatever other markets we need to, and get them out there. That is what we need to do. So all them children who go in school, Bingy them were teaching the drum in school, Bankie, and all them other people who teaching the instruments and dancing and drama and so on. You see Emancipation Day? That is the day when they're supposed to come out to showcase them things. Them things they're supposed to be geared up towards, you know, showing the youths, you know, like, look, this is what we're celebrating. And I guess if so, then if we had that kind of mentality, then we would have realized why a project like Destiny and seeking to encourage the people who would have, after working for free for 4 years, and then get an opportunity to own lands, which is the basis of power. Instead of seeking to develop infrastructure so that the people could benefit more from the land, you want to encourage them to sell out the land in chunks, huge chunks, and some done gone, as you just pointed out. So these are some of the reasons why our celebration of emancipation and those things that y'all claim the Rasta does always want to bring back is important. See the things that watch out, the things that y'all been fighting for all these years, CARICOM taking them up, international bodies taking it up. Reparations, then they left Rasta too, so that's a whole other argument. Reparations, they're running with reparations. Reparations and repatriation is two words we could say has been etched in our lexicon and our vocabulary as a result of Rastafari. If it wasn't for Rastafari, I believe nobody in the Caribbean would ever know about them two words there. CARICOM around with reparations. They kill us for cannabis. They kill us, lock us up, turn us into criminals. Children going to school, oh, your father jail, bud. For a plant that now they want to decriminalize, find ways to make money from, but still want to penalize the average Rastaman, an average individual, for using it, even though they have the constitutional rights. They want to tell you must get a license to exercise your constitutional rights, like it's a privilege they're granting you. Ain't a privilege. Anyway, that's another story. But the point is, Bankie, this is how serious it is, and how serious agriculture should be by those who we elect. And that's why, as we said, we would mark hard. An agriculture minister, sorry, you failing, and I failed big time. And it's nothing personal. It's there for all of us to see. You understand? So there are things that we need to do, Bankie, right? We say agriculture can be a replacement sector if it is modernized. Agriculture should not be treated as a subsistence activity alone. It should be treated as an industry. If government invests in irrigation, extension services, land access, training, storage, cold chain, and market coordination, farmers can supply hotel, schools, supermarket, and export markets more readily. This creates wider economic spillovers than just selling the wrapper juice. So I am one who am pushing for the value added. So when you start to grow sorrel, think of drying the sorrel and package it and sell it as a dried or dehydrated product. Think of making a jam and then label it and package it. Think of making a wine or some kind of juice or some kind of beverage that you could manufacture and you could brand. And this is the kind of concept that we need to have and create our own little cottage industries and create our own entrepreneurs and create our own brands and labels that we can put out there in the market. This is how we're going to be able to stimulate our economy. Sometimes I tell myself that these politicians who could empower us and the masses to do these things don't want to do it for two reasons. One, empowering us, take us out of their reach. Because when you're empowered and you're making $10 and $15 and $20,000 a month like them, then they're going to can't wrap up a $500 when election come and put it in a shot and give you. They're going to can't just tell you come vote because they're going to buy you a drink and give you a little party. So they don't want to empower you. That's one. That's one of the reasons. Right? The other reason is the crab in a barrel mentality still. They just can't stand to see you get to that level. But we need to. So we need to be able to get beyond that as a people. And really, if we have to take the bulls by the horns to some extent and farm more cooperatives and do what we need to do, well, that might be what we need to do. But these are some of the things that we need to do, Bankie, in terms of taking the industry forward. You might muted. You might muted. I don't know if your mic is muted. I just am me hearing you, but yeah. But people, these are some serious issues. You know, value chain, value added products. I think is one of our biggest opportunity. Or one of our problems. I think with the agriculture sector is concerned. We were more focused on
You can
in
hear me now,
those days. And
Yahsonn?
yeah, man, loud and clear. Yeah, and I think this was part of our problem. We grow the raw material, and our lands were one of the richest in the Caribbean, and we produce the most food. But we were sending out the raw material to England and other places where they created value-added products, sold it back to us at triple and quadruple the cost of what it would have taken to produce the raw material. And in some cases, it didn't cost them nothing because they had our four parents working for free. Right? Now we have the lands. We have access to the lands. We can go some of the same things, but now invest in the necessary machinery that can process, package, label, find out whatever specifications they need to meet, and you meet them, and you package them, and you put them out there in the market the same way, just like everybody else. And then instead of like in the case of where we're seeking to bring in a tobacco company to go for tobacco company, we could empower more of our local pepper producers, put together a couple hundred acres and get Llewellyn and Brimstone flavors and some of these other labels to have pepper and a regular now that their product now can be competing with Tabasco and some of these international shelves. Those are the kind of things that we really need to be thinking about. And so then we can have our own sorrel, like our main hibiscus is already a brand, and Sin Kits, where my brethren is using sorrel over here to make wine, and I think I'm seeing him with some new products as well. My brethren there for Spice Mill. Yeah, and I mean, those are markets. These are the spin-offs of seriously taking our agriculture to that level. Because now you would find a company like that now is going to need people to grow sorrel on a regular basis to supply them, because they're going to need sorrel. If they don't get it from here, they're going to have to import it, right? And so we really need to begin to do that. And that is going to, I see a comment there as well, because value added will create some other opportunities as well for our people to get involved in other aspects, engineers, food scientists, chemists, I mean, all of these are spin-off areas that are part of agriculture, and people would stop seeing agriculture as just an area where you work in the field and dirty up your hand and so on. You're going to need accountants. You're going to need marketing people. You're going to need, all of these people to develop, because you're going to need the graphics. People who are going to be able to develop the logos and the different brands and all of these different things and so on. So it's a whole industry that we have sitting down, and you hear all of this discussion. I have not included cannabis in this discussion yet. And cannabis itself can provide the opportunities for all of these things that I'm speaking about. And this is only one crop that you could add all of these value to as well. Because within the cannabis industry, you have, the vape pens, you have the products, the skincare products, you have the that are used externally, you have the scrubs, you have the shampoos, the lotion, the toothpaste, the ropes, the clothing, the oils, I mean, the vape pens, the shatter, the diamonds, the crystals, so many different, value-added products that we can derive from the cannabis and hemp, which is a family of the cannabis as well. You have your hemp seed, you have your hemp seed oil, you have your hemp powder, you have your hemp pasta. I have a brethren from Italy who has a company that I'm working with that they actually make pasta from hemp. the hemp seed, the whole hemp seed after they take out the oil and so they use it to make a pasta. So there's so many different things, so many different areas in the agricultural sector that we can tap into. So I would be on that position that agriculture, if organized properly, can definitely be. I'm not saying it will happen over time. I'm not saying it's going to happen over time, but it can definitely help to replace or position ourselves into that place where the CBI is right now. Value-added raw produce has low margins, but value-added products create more income per unit of crop. Examples include fruit juices, jams, sauces, seasoning blends, dried fruits, herbal teas, coconut products, frozen cut fruit, and local packaged food items. That is where jobs, branding, and export potential really go. So when you hear the man talking about jobs, the agricultural sector, if really see, I mean, they zoom in on that and invest in it, but the seriousness is not there. When you look at the budget, seemingly it look like every year they're reducing the amount of money that they put into the budget for agriculture. Yet they were telling you that they're serious about a 25 by 25 agenda. They wanted to reduce the food import bill by 25 by 25. But Bankie, this is why I went to the emancipation story to some extent too, because I wanted to show you that these guys ain't really concerned about these things. These guys concerned about how they could get some money. And CBI is aware that they can make some easy money. They ain't concerned about food security like we are. Their problem with food security will come in like no. Nowadays, war out there, the boats them can't come in. As long as the boat then could come in and the supermarket shelves them got on things, them man don't have a food crisis. You understand? That is the thinking of these guys. So they got money, they're making 10 and 12,000 and 15 and $18,000 a month, and they get in per diem when they go travel, and they get in all these allowances and so on that we got to we ain't even getting nothing close to that. So they could afford to. They could afford to go to the supermarket, and even if the prices go up, it ain't bother them too much. It can bother me and you, the small man. And so that's why we would be thinking about farming and making sure that we could get some food out the ground and making sure that the food is of a certain standard. These are guys, Bankie, who are going out there and signing on to certain agreements without any consultation with the people. And we might be surprised if we hear that they sign on to these things where they're bringing in these genetically modified seeds and get you to the point now where they're telling you that you're going to can't plant your heirloom seeds and you're going to can't plant back your seeds, and so you're going to go buy these genetically modified seed, and anytime you want watermelon, you got to go buy watermelon seed. You can't go back to, if we ain't careful, our elected officials going to sign on to these things. If we don't continue to hold them accountable and hold their feet to the fire where these things are concerned. So, Bankie, I mean, I'm just putting some of these things on the table. I want to also, I'm going to let you, come in and make your utterances, but I want to also let the folks know we're going to open up the lines pretty early. The number to call in is 1-869-662-7196. So if you want to be able to add your 2 cents to the discussion and the debate, most times when we have a guest, sometimes, we take a lot more time because we try to give the guest an opportunity to express him or herself and get their points across and so on. So sometimes we limit the time for calling and so on. But this evening, it's just me and Bankie here, and we're going to have a reasoning, and we want you to be a part of the reasoning. So feel free to give us a call if you want to, interject and give your 2 cents on the debate and the discussion. And, we just encourage you to be as forceful as you can and as passionate as you can, but please be respectful of the platform, respectful of us, your hosts, and, the network, and yourself, as a matter of fact, too, because we try to keep the platform on a level. So, as you can see, we also are forceful and passionate with our views and opinion, and we expect you to be the same and express yourself accordingly, but we could do it without trying to defame anybody or disrespect anybody or calling people names and so on. You know what I mean? With that said, Bankie, come through the reasoning. Remember, the number is 1-869-662-7196 if you want to call in. So, Bankie. Not hearing you. You muted again? Bankie seemed to be having a little bit of technical difficulty this evening. Yeah, but well, while he's doing that, I guess I'll move on to the next point of my discussion. I am of the view that another area that we could look at when it comes to agriculture is an area that Bankie said that he was dealing with, which was the Indian Castle Orchard. And one of my view, and we did that in the past, but I think large-scale orchard development can be a smart long-term bet because crops like mango, soursop, avocado, breadfruit, citrus, tamarind, and guava can feed agro-processing industries and reduce food import dependence. Orchard systems also create more stable supply chains than only seasonal short cycle farming. For a small island economy, that can be a major strategic advantage. And these things ain't rocket scientists, and these things ain't take the hundreds of billions of dollars that these guys want to invest in this economy. Had these guys been
You can hear
serious,
me, Yahsonn?
yeah, I could hear you now. When all of these billions of dollars were coming in through the CBI, a lot of these needed to be reinvested in agriculture, and we needed to be taking agriculture on these serious levels. A lot of lip service is done when it comes to agriculture. A lot of these, people in agriculture, when it is convenient, they have some very good talk. They have very good oratory skills. And they speak very well when it comes to agriculture. But then when it comes to the action, like I just say, check the budget. That's the first place I check. Check the budget for agriculture, and then that would tell me how serious they are about agriculture. With that said, since Bankie's mic is up, let me let Bankie get in before he has any other technical difficulties. So Bankie, yes.
Yeah, can you what all the little hiccups going on right now? You can't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, man, loud and clear.
All right, well, just making sure. What if you're going to be taking agriculture serious onwards? Because we really have been failing for years and continue to fail. You must have policies in place, Yahsonn. If you don't have policies in place, the talking mean nothing. And land, when you're talking about policies, land policies, water policies, and policies encroach straight into customs where you wouldn't have, once you bring in stuff as a farm and stuff like that, custom already know who you are, all these things. You wouldn't have to write letter to agriculture department and all these things. And you must have access to funding. You will see it in the budget. You'll see it in the private sector banking system will encourage in it. It will be a pride project because it's all about, for us as human, we only can consume whether it's two type of source of food, whether it's animal based or plant based. You can choose both or choose one, and that's just reality. And then agriculture purpose, we have to realize it is to sustain mankind, whether it's fuel, clothes in that way. We don't look at it like that. The car that we drive, but yet we tend to think we are so intelligent, but we really are the one who killing off ourselves because all we do is create a lot of junks and garbage. And then you see our environment, we living in a filthy place with agriculture is minor source, So my thing is, if you call agriculture department and you're seeking for land, don't tell you don't have any land. So how you're gonna have a poultry industry gonna start up, then you don't have access to land? How that gonna be profitable? How that gonna work? It gotta come together, Virgin, and that is what I'm telling you. If just we need to come into election, we are in a situation where the EU and the American and all the bigger countries out there, especially America and the EU, are pressure for closing down the CBI through the Caribbean. This is in front of our face. This is not like you can't see it. And there is no way you see our leaders, them trying to diversify the economy in any way. You hear them say, mention one thing, geothermal, just gimmicks, Virgin. If you want to go into the bank or anybody ask anybody want to borrow some money, whether for it's $10, they want to see a business plan. They want to know if you and all these things. We just up to now nobody can give you what costs nothing. But and then plus we all know seeing it's a Nevis, the cost of what to do geothermal is it just to feed think it's a Nevis, it don't worth it. It's too much. The expedition is just too much to access it. And so then they have to think about exporting fuel. The cost of what you're going to spend into geothermal, you'd have done boost your agricultural sector with ship, with trading within the and internationally. These are just simple, but we are not seeing this thing. We want to keep selling our land and want our land to look like we're in Miami Beach. And then you see all these things going around the island in saying it's a Nevis, but you see this building, all those passports have been sold for those rooms, These are the reality. You see what I mean? These are the reality. You see all these are going to keep going up is the cost of food. You see, this is carnival time. And all we do as humans is just eat, drink, sleep, eat. We eat 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. Every minute we're eating. And
Yeah,
all this
Banky,
importing stuff.
we trust in a set of people who are taking
No,
us
yes,
far.
no, watch it. We all are grown, We all are big people and we all know better. Cause that's why our system, that's why we're gonna sick. That's why we keep getting all
Banky,
these kidney
Banky,
disease.
Banky,
One.
it's fine for me and you to say everybody should know better. However, however, we gotta be cognizant of the fact that a lot of brainwashing was done, and many of us are still ignorant to a lot of things. You understand? Was intentionally done so. A lot of knowledge were held away from us.
Sorry, there was a
Well,
call just coming in. We call like a cutoff. Caller, you can call back, please. About that.
yeah. A part of it is intentional, and this is what I am saying. A lot of these politicians are taking us for a ride because they know that they have inherited a system that was never designed for us. And they opt to continue to perpetuate the system, knowing that only them benefit them and the cronies. Yeah, we can take the call. So if the call is there now, but that's our reality. So if the caller is there, Banky, we can accommodate the caller, no?
No, the caller in there yet. Don't let you know.
Okay. But these are some of the things that we have to deal with, and I am glad that it's coming around emancipation. Because these are some of the things that we need to be engaged in. These are some of the discussions that we need to be engaged
Yes,
in.
and have the
These
caller
are
here.
things that, all right, greetings, caller.
Yeah, good night.
I like the discussion, but I feel like, the same, there are some issues, right, that pop up with the pharmaceutical, right? When we look at, like lemongrass. Lemongrass got some components and so. But you would never see the pharmaceutical companies pushing like lemongrass. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because lemongrass, you could just plant it. So they will push something else similar to lemongrass. The same problem we got with agriculture locally. Because a poor man might be able to move into agriculture and make money. The powers that ain't gonna push it right? Because then a poor man gonna be able to come up in life, gonna be able by when the man say, well, they don't give a little change. The poor man walk out by, you wanna drink? The poor man tell the politician, by you wanna drink?
But the politician wasn't poor too before.
But that is one of the politicians are always saying they come from the belly of the poor. But they forget.
Oh, they forget. Okay.
They push down the ladder, and then in their mind, they can't get anything out of agriculture. The millions they could get from an investor coming in, they can't get that out of agriculture. So it's about fast money and taking care of oneself. It's basically that.
I understand what you're saying.
All right, guys.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the input. Yahsonn.
Yeah, great point from the caller. And as the caller spoke, it reminded me a second point that I had in mind when I was talking earlier on, when I was saying that, how they keep us. The other point was that if they empower us, we ain't gonna be the ones who gonna be able to give them $1 million under the table for the campaign fund and the 2 million under the table when they want.
Hold a point, Yahsonn.
So
Hold a
that's why
point. Let
they
me take
prefer
this
to
call here.
invest, man. They prefer to invest in the foreign investor who can give them that under the table than empower us. Yes, get in
Yahsonn.
the caller.
Carlo, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture.
Good morning, guys. Sorry, good evening to you guys.
Yes.
Good morning for me.
Yes, good evening.
All right, cool. I want to jump on the topic that you're talking about, agriculture. I want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about food processing. Give you a little short story. One time I came to Nevis, and I was heading past the Four Seasons going around there, and I just see mangoes watering the street. Mangoes. I said, my God, that could never happen in St. Kitts. People take them up and go with them and kind of stuff. But then they came with a mango something. I don't remember what the actual stuff was, a mango something. But there's a lot of stuff you can do with the mango. You can have dry mango, as you're talking about. You can sell these stuff, but you can't just sell them to a market of 50,000 people. You have to sell them to the OECS and that kind of stuff. So my biggest concern is, why don't we have processing for any fruit? Because like you said, we can do soursop, we can do watermelon, what have you, whatever it is. Why don't we process these fruits in all sorts of fashion, different ways, package them properly, package these, carry come, and further afield? I just don't understand that. The guy who had recently had some pineapples in St. Kitts couldn't find a way to sell them. Nobody wanted to buy them. And then when you have the glut on the market, he's not going to make his money that he put into his farming. So I don't know what's going on with these politicians. We put there to vote for us, because if we had taken the manufacturing, the marketing of these businesses even through the design, our people, our farmers would be multi-millionaires. But we're not interested in making our people millionaires. We're not interested at all. So I just wanted to make that point, because I want to come back on the show. I'll get in some stuff ready to come to try and book a date to come on you guys' show, and I'll explain some more about the stuff I have in agriculture as well.
I appreciate it, Carlo. Thanks. All right, Yahsonn, let me take this next call. Have a caller. Caller, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture.
Yes, I just wanted to add a little contribution to the show, because I think one of the biggest problems we face when it comes to agriculture is the monkey population. And I think, if there's no sort of policy put in place where we can see a decrease or control of that monkey population, agriculture is always going to be like on the back burner. You find farmers losing a lot of their crops because of the monkey population and how hard it is for to keep the monkey out of their gardens and out of their also the problem of wild animals, not wild but not so maintained, well kept, well controlled livestock. The goats that may get into your garden or into your yard, even if it's fenced, the cattle or stuff. So I think one of the things we may need to do is just focus on getting the monkey population under control, maybe even a hunting season for monkey, or even maybe the monkey in the agriculture field and create dog food and export other things that we could do with the monkey meat. It's just been one of the things I've heard farmers cry a lot about. I know, Bankie, you have also talked about means, electric fences and different stuff that could help with the monkey population problem, but I think that's just a surface level solution, and we need something to actually bring that monkey population down. That's just my early.
All right, thank you, Carla. Some great points. Appreciate that. Yahsonn, everything, all these will come into policies. And with policies, it means you have to put budget in place. You see, is one thing our listeners understand. They have ideas. So the people who you're paying and who are trained in this field, they don't know better. That's why you see the people themselves, the citizens, have to hold themselves accountable, because they are the one who allowing 40 acres of food being destroyed. I took this evening, I'm away from the farm, from my office. I seen jelly and they said, imported from St. Vincent or Dominica and the places there. Where we have over 4,000 jelly trees at Indian Castle being withered away and people getting paid. Same source of trees you're talking about, over 600 guava trees was down there dead. You see? So there's no accountability. And then the premier will come on the show and can't speak on agriculture. The minister, this is called kind of culture going on. So why not people are going on Indian Castle? I was told to go to Indian Castle, and we know what Indian Castle was about. The president's already been said. It's been, and do you hear Alexis Jeffers, one of the better minister of agriculture who was ever put into government? You seen talking anything about this now? His mouth shut because his government and his deputy minister are willful to mash it up. This is a willful act. The whole cabinet is to be blamed. Me ain't picking out nobody. Once you're part of this government, you're part of the problem. And those who continue to vote and not accept this thing, the Hanley's Road people, those who ever continue, this is a serious issue, my virgin. This is where the world is going. The CBI is about to close down. We can't forget that. So it means you must prioritize agriculture. Let me tell you this will happen if I all don't know. The lethal yellowing for the coconut trees is on a rampage. Even the young trees, them is been getting affected now. But then I come on the radio to start talking about this yet. How they're going to get this thing under control. These are real issues we're talking here about, you know. This is not play. We're talking about how we can diversify the economy. We're not talking, yes, little subsistence, but you have to have in-house technology. This sun, what's going on in this dry weather mean. You got to start to drill wells if you're going to have these things serious as national. This has to be a national project, my virgin, where we food and not just talking. You must have to put proper storage in place. You must have proper plant in place. Because you must employ people. Agriculture employ one of the most people of any industry. Because you need engineers in everywhere. You must have water specialists. You must have specialists. You must have people who understand food science. This is not a joke thing I'm talking about, not dolly house thing with the pan. I'm talking about big league thing, commercial thing, big league, not just talking. This is a joke thing. So everyone who's talking about this coming about getting into government, I want people to vote for them. If you can't talk agriculture, me no want to hear nothing from nobody, my virgin. Because me ain't taking nobody serious. That is where my mind frame there, and that's where my mind frame going to always stay. Because that is for our survival, our closing, everything that we're talking about, agriculture survival. So how foolish can we be? I'm coming here, son. How foolish can we be by not taking an industry that is about keeping us alive, sheltering us, our medicine, and the most important resource is your land and your people. Policies must be in place for land. Mount Travers don't sell off. You understand? Pinnis Beach about to sell off your best land just for what? Entertain millionaires and sandy beaches. And you want some beaches. So what? Me can live on the beach and enjoy the beach when we grew up in a town. Yeah?
No.
Man says last time is right on the beach. Yeah. So I need to see signs goes up. Actually, I need to see sign goes up. That's what policy is about. Every aspect around the island, where you see you enter in Gingerland, you enter in Government Road, I want to see sign goes up. With beaches all over the island. That I want to see. Which part the beaches
We
want
to see the sign, sir? We want to see the sign, sir?
Beach access to the beaches. So tourists can know, locals can know, everywhere. That's what I want to see. Where the beach access can be, where development has been taking place, the access where the constitution put in place stated, and the beach policies, the way, and put this is what should be going up. Because fishermen are going to have access to these areas the same way, along with the locals. Because when developers come, they think they own the beach and these things. If you're going to be taking agriculture serious, in the rural areas, the roads have to be developed properly and infrastructure have to be in place. These
by
are things
Bankie.
must be
Bankie.
maintained.
I don't have any money to put in the infrastructure, so it's better.
No,
I
just
sell,
let
I
me
sell out the
continue,
land.
Yahsonn. Can't
Better I
remember, you know,
sell
we're
out the
speaking
land.
about, no, but we're speaking about going to a fire, somebody just giving, saying these are things into sinkings where I see roads are overgrown. I can't even get about the grass is higher than me. So if we're gonna do, what I'm saying in a virgin, grade 5 in primary school, Lawkins, let's rest in peace, was our teacher at the time. And when we're doing tourism, and she outlined the benefits, the advantage, and the disadvantage. And remember, made it dull class, the dull one. But if I can pick up that, all of us, because when we're done, we're talking about it. We didn't like tourism. Because at that age, we can over main thing, you're losing your land, your culture, crime going to increase, drugs, all this different stuff that we're learning since in the 80s in grade 5. And that mindset never changed because we see the little work that you're getting, think that it, nah, because look around us. Everybody coming to an agenda. Everybody have an agenda, hidden agendas. Okay? Agriculture is,
Bankie, I hear you, you know, and I hear how passionate you sound, you know. But here is our reality. Those who are at the helm are not as
the
passionate as
reality
you
is
are
us.
about that.
No, but the
The
reality
real,
is us. I mean, now about them no more in virgin. Are we are the
but
problem?
But,
We're talking about.
we elect them
Oh,
and put them there. That is why they say they got a
when are the,
mandate. They got the mandate. They got
and
the
that is
mandate where
good.
you encourage people to sell out the land to get a destiny project, which is going to be the savior and give you all jobs.
That's one. Let me say this. Let me break it down with this. Can we not stay on this destiny thing? Can we deal with agriculture? Destiny is a homeowners association. A homeowners association means most of the homes will be look-alike, the ground manicured, and all. You can change the color of your house and all this different stuff. It's a settlement. You all can Google it if you want. I know this is what the gentleman said, you know. Mr. Jensen, it's a 10,000 family settlement. The intention is an idea. This
My
bringing the money, cannot pay the taxes.
hold on,
So where the
hold
funds gonna
on.
come from?
My intent for bringing the destiny into that was not about the destiny project itself, you know. It was based on your point where you just said that land is one of our most important resource, and the destiny project is looking, the government is looking to give them 24 or 2,600 acres. They're not give them, but
Not the
encourage.
government, yes, and not the government.
Sorry,
Is the land
sorry, sorry. They are encouraging landowners who would have been through the struggle to own those lands after working, their foreparents working for free for 4 years after emancipation, and then end up and own these lands that we say is so important to us. Those who we elect to represent us are telling us that they're not so important. Sell them out and go look a job. While there could be, as you're saying, putting in the roads and the infrastructure, dig the wells that is necessary to accommodate agriculture. You went Indian Castle and showed that the been Indian Castle barren too, wasteland, nothing could go to Indian Castle. Ain't that they tell you before you go there? Wasn't that the same story that you had?
yes, man.
When you hold on, we're making the point.
Hundreds of years ago.
My point is, the same lands over there. If the infrastructure is put in place over there, food could go over there the same way, and we could get large acreage of lands too. And some of these people now could make some money because they could lease out the land in the meantime to go to some. That is what I was looking at when I brought in the destiny. I wasn't talking about
But
the two.
yes, and
That is all I was looking at.
the destiny project over the land over there don't always have to be about agriculture. It can be next to the town. You can develop your infrastructure yourself. It's just how you use the land. These are how we have to look at things. The overnight is what happened to the agriculture in my head, you know. That's area happened to do agriculture in my head because I understand the use of land policy. The land could be used for different stuff, but also generate a new town. The place is
All of
growing,
that
we need
too.
expansion.
All of that too.
Brethren, this is the when I city them a build brethren, a home and a city they want build. So how you can build your own expand and build a new city for your own people? It's common sense. Brethren, how dumb can we be? Can that what them do? So how can you do it for yourself? That's the whole point.
In that. We're interested in getting some money.
Let me take this caller.
Yes.
Let me take this caller here. Caller, good evening, and welcome to Everything Agriculture.
To the listening public, blessed night to you guys in the studio.
Yes, good evening.
Yo, all them lands were farmlands. All them lands were farmlands. So many know what the boy them must say because we all know all lands were farmlands. So you mean, Baron? Because they failed to put in the infrastructure in place so man could develop the land and utilize the land for ourselves. But no, they got budget. And we know, watch out, budget, we know they got the plan. And they don't just got a plan. It's a long-term plan. But we may say to us as a people, we got to do this plan. We got to make sure this will work. And not just for us yet, for the generation behind us. Good night.
Yahsonn, I'm going to say this, why I'm pushing agriculture to develop, because these guys, and I'm going to say so over and over, they can't, and nobody could convince me they're not going to sign this thing here. Nobody could convince me that. I know better. Because what's going to happen, you know, those who love to go to the EU and America, make up your mind, I'm going to lose our visa access. Make up your mind, I'm going to lose access to a lot of things. Once you're going to continue the way how this year go, because ain't another way about it until I don't say it. And if you're going to diversify the economy, Yahsonn, with infrastructure, it means you're going to need a bridge for transportation of material, easy access. You just can't rely on the boat alone. Food will have to be transported by trucks and trailers and all this different stuff, because you're going to be doing exporting and all these different things, and food over to Singing to Nevis. Because once you're going to be dealing with things like this, it means it must have coordination. It's a lot of moving parts. And these are easy things, short term and long term. And the long term part will be the food trees part. But the short term is the cash crops. But you have to have storage. It must be a plan. Farmers, fisher folk, all in the agricultural sector, and training and continuous training in every way as possible. And safety of food and all these things is a whole complete machinery. And me talk agriculture, I don't just listen to all these different talk shows, you know, with the entertainment they have, coming out in a serious. All me hear emotions. But everybody want going to power. But yet nobody could tell me how they're going to keep themselves alive when they come to feeding themselves. And that is the most to me. If we can come and Brethren, everyone must be able to speak on agriculture case for their own survival and have an interest in it. Because everything around them within their house is agricultural products. Everything. The fridge stack up to the broom, well enough to the brim. All aspect of it. So how can we not take this thing serious? So you see the reason why I say I'm wasting my time here. You understand? That is the reality. Because we are the problem. And the next biggest problem is the church. Because it's in 40 acres of food a mash up, and everybody's silent. The church always done that as a call want something to sponsor, and everybody quiet. This is the problem. Unless we get out of this mentality where we're looking at him because my party in power and all this thing and not holding each and everyone accountable. Look over and sink it. You hear any talking about the 300 acres of land they clean? Where they're going to plant hot peppers? No. You think of Sego? Because they see them not germinate. So they're going to plant sweet potato and pumpkin. You think about how the pumpkin any upgrade or any update, anything and stuff like that? No. You can't get resources. You can't because you must need agriculture is something that need resources for wires. You must have a program when it comes to monkey. When we do the monkey these things. When it comes what about the animal part, when it comes to the fisheries part, in the ocean, the policies when it comes to the nets and then getting messed up and all this thing and be tangling up the different stuff and species of turtles and all this different stuff. You must have serious policies in all aspects, not just talking, you know. And the policies that must food safety issues and stuff like all these different stuff. So it means you must expand the Bureau of Standard Lab and we can test it before food leave out. They will be tested and all these things. All these things the Minister of Agriculture and the whole cabinet, both in Singleton and Nevis, have failed us. All this government and continue to fail us. And all those who want to get involved in this politics and stuff like that, they better start talking what their plans for agriculture on a serious level. Otherwise, everybody should vote for these people. Period. That's just what it is. It's ridiculous. Very ridiculous. I mean, look at the Paris leafy greens and others went to this thing. Daniel Tutan, the man could do 10 more hydroponic systems. 10 more and they still can't do nothing. The animal plate. We should be exporting meat. The abattoir, it can stop side and side next to any meat processing plant anywhere in the world. And we produce better cuts of meat choice and healthier and better products. Because everybody want neat and sink it meat. We have someone up there named Gary. Gary should be 10 people under his wings every year. You have mentorship going on up in that abattoir there. With this skill set this guy has. But we can't like that. Continuity. That is our problem. We're not serious. We ain't taking nobody serious. We're not talking. I've seen enough meeting. I've traveled meeting of and no better. We're not ready yet. All we're into is tourist boat. In November, some tourist boat will start coming here. People are going to be coming from England. We're going to be a turnaround port. And Barbados is going to be a home port. Where people are going to fly in and then pick up on the port. You must get the tonnage, the millions of pounds of food that they're going to need on basis. Okay, with the passengers coming in. But you think that what the government did here talking about it, the Minister of Agriculture, if they did negotiate these things, they would have been speaking about it. So it shows these things have not been done with all these policies and stuff like that.
You're saying you ain't know if they negotiate it, but you ain't know what they negotiate. I just tell you a while ago, these guys only concerned about making the money, the food coming in and playing. So maybe they negotiate to get the food imported from somewhere else, maybe Africa or some other place. You may say that they haven't spoken to us, and that is part of the problem. This is what I'm saying. Part of the problem is they don't want to empower us because we are not going to be able to put certain things on the table. One of the things that we need to deal with as well is campaign funding regulations. We need to put in place that we could know who's funding these people and how much money they get and so on. We got laws in place, so that is why they could cut these deals and we don't know. And that is why sometimes in these agreements, they want to hide these agreements from us, who they are working for. They don't want us to know what deals they cut with these people. And that is where part of the major problem is that we don't want to agree and admit to. They have inherited a system where they want to maintain this class, this upper class and this lower class. If they empower the farmers like you and Danny Atherton and Paris Leafy Greens and so on to the level and capacity that they should, they would not be able to reach y'all because y'all will be making more money than them on a monthly basis and all of these things, and they don't want to have to, and they can't come to you and say, "Bye, Bankie, man, I need no." You're not going to give them no $1 million under the table. You're not going to give them no $1 million in the campaign fund. So they're not going to seek to empower you. That is the reality. We don't want to talk about these things. We don't want to bring these things to the fore. But these are realities that we got to deal with. And that is what they do. And that is why we are going to be in the way we are unless we seek to empower ourselves. So as much as we want them to do these things, we got to make sure that they reflect it in the budget. Put the money in the budget. You can't tell me that we're importing $200 million worth of food, and you can't put $100 million towards agriculture in the budget. You can't find it important to make sure you got $100 million. You import $200 million worth of food every year. But you can't even put half in there to say you're serious about empowering the farmers to reduce the food import bill. So me can't take you serious. I can't take you serious. And so these are some of the issues and challenges that we're dealing with, Bankie. I mean...
We're getting some of the comments, Yahsonn.
Yeah, I'm going to make this point and then I'm getting some of the comments. Backyard gardening should be a part of the national food strategy as well. Backyard gardening is not smart thinking. It is resilience thinking. If households grow some of their own food, the country reduces import pressure, improves household nutrition, and eases demand on the foreign exchange system. Government can support this with seed distribution, water harvesting, training, and small grants. And we need to focus on a seed bank as well. That is another vital and critical issue that we would need to pay attention to. Now, we want to encourage folks again. The number to call in is 1-869-662-7196. That's 869-662-7196. Annette Morton says, I'm not hearing Bankie. Okay, she says, hearing you now. Bankie, your mic is muted. Okay, all right. Rutlin Hill says, good night to all from Florida. Aaron Otto Heiliger says, greetings all. Rusty Liebert. We move on over to the YouTube platform. On the YouTube platform, Justin Huggins says, night, night. Oliver Liebert says, yes, bro, good night. Kings, I am here. Greetings, Oliver, Ali, the honey man. So if you're looking for organic honey, and St. Kitts, up Monkey Hill, St. Peter's, look for Oliver, Ali. Andre Daly says, greetings to all. Let's not forget what our ancestors had to endure during the period of slavery and the resistance they put up to get liberation, blessed emancipation. Elisha Fox says, the thing is, yeah, no problem.
Caller, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture.
Yeah, blessed night again.
Go ahead. Yeah, night.
Who maintained the upper class? Upper class, you know, is the lower class who fuel the upper class. So let us cut off the fuel. That's what we need to do. Let us cut them off. Because we maintain the lower class. I'm here to us as a people again. Unity is strength. Let us unite. Let us forget about the blue and the green and think about Nevis and the future of Nevis Jet. Because that's our tangle also. The blue and the green, the NRP and the CCM. Let's start to think about the Rasta and push Nevis forward. We got a generation behind us yet. We not stop say so. We're responsible for them. Good night.
Son, right. I want to say this again, eh? The problem is the church, because we live in a Christian society where more than 90% of people every day get up and them are the voters too. So how you could sit with a destroy and swear the minister face and the whole cabinet, the party you support, and silent and can't say nothing? Well, who you gonna blame? The people come here and you see people can't talk about it. And he said $70 for jelly in the same bags. Jelly, they put you down, they arch you down, they mash up. So how many don't left there in less than 2 years? They replicate the same thing on over 3 acres and jelly children of fruit. You understand? So of fruit. How much banana we don't have in Arkansas, something we don't plant and harvest. The general public see it. And I mean, a matter of fact, well, it's a long weekend. Come get your melon and yellow, along with you have some mangoes over there. And tomorrow, remember tomorrow at Mansell's Lab is we're gonna have shark and bakes, okay? Shark and bakes, all right? Along with your regular caramel and fish and oxtail and caramel rice and your different pies and jelly water, local drinks, melon juice. All food we're talking about off the farm. That's the reality. Planting chips, sugar cake, guava cheese, mango cheese, plantain chips, value added products off the farm. That's what we're speaking about. Those are get advances last stop. These are the reality that we're speaking about. But these things can still be on a bigger level. Virgin, me gonna be alright, you know. Because I come from an environment where we are taught to be animals. But then there are those who need to be show them the know-how. Okay, that is why it is. I was taught these things from since me in the 80s, me in a primary school, me go downtown, I sell nuts, tray and lollipop, I interact with people and account and all this different stuff. And now I have manners and now to sell stuff. This is how we were trained to do, and selling fish. My uncle, I in the market, they sell meat with Uncle Brino. The reality. So we already had a skills to learn. This is how you're supposed to raise children to be thinking to be entrepreneurs. And if you're working for anyone, it should be part-time. And your talent. That is how it's supposed to be. That's how you expand and diversify your economy, encourage more entrepreneurs, give them access. How the hell all these Asian people come on here and we are going there buy from them? When nobody put no gun to your head, you know?
Because they getting the kind of concessions and they kind of getting the kind of deals that we ain't getting. Nobody
put no gun to your head and you're walking there. Well, support your own too. That's the whole point me and make. So no complain.
So this is why I'm saying. This is why I'm saying, Bankie, the accountability is necessary, because that is why the man hiding these agreements, hiding behind closed doors, making these kind of agreements, and hope and pray that we don't see the kind of concessions and leeways and so on that they give these businesses that then kick us out, and then we got to rent them our place so that they could have their business. Because we ain't getting the small business, the small man ain't getting the kind of concessions. Not even half of what some of these people are get, and the bailouts and no pay back this and no pay back that and so.
So who to blame?
And so that's why I'm saying, Bankie, we inherited a system that was never designed for us. We the people.
Well, so you're saying.
We the people. So what all I'm doing, Bankie, is seeking to educate.
So you mean we're being dishonest then? So the people that are being the church, so they're being dishonest then?
Bankie, you remember, this way emancipation is so important, you know, celebration emancipation is so important, you know.
Yes, and this 2026. This have nothing to do with emancipation. You understand?
Yes, the church and state was one. You're talking about the church. The church and state was one.
Yes, this is 2026, Virgin.
It's still one.
We know better in this time. No, but listen to me. No, you cannot be blaming certain things. This is we causing this amongst ourselves. I deal with reality now, Virgin. Me not stuck in the past. We can speak of history. We can speak to understand who we are as a people. But I'm not stuck in the past. And anybody gonna get me stuck in the past. Okay? My last year is 6 years old, so I deal with reality. We are our biggest. You can't be preaching out of a book or any kind of text and tell me about no kind of God and this and that, and you're not being honest within yourself and seeing something is wrong and clapping and jumping up and doing that kind of something, and these things still continuing. We are being dishonest and disingenuous.
Bankie,
when the
missionaries came in the same church, they told their kins, who were the plantocracies and the planters, that they ain't come to change the system. They come to help to make the slaves them more subservient. Tell them slaves obey your earthly masters.
Slavery still exists then. So slavery still exists then.
Mental slavery we're going through, psychological slavery we're going through. The church was a part of the mental slavery we're going through.
No.
The church is a part of the mental slavery that we're going through right now. They were part of it. Their role was the psychological indoctrination.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
Okay. Right now, when they go to church Sunday, what is happening now, where we can see we have been destroyed when it comes to food and taking all this going on. And the same because them are the voters, you know. Remember, they are the voters.
Because what the church did, why they still go all and now, because if they had wake up enough, they wouldn't know not to go to no opening ceremony where somebody play allegiance to King Charles III, who you're supposed to be independent from. So you tell me in 2026 we're supposed to be independent and we're supposed to be more smarter. But the things that they're doing is showing me that they're coming smarter. You paying over $1 million for a governor general. You guys take the call. We paying over $1 million for a governor general and a deputy governor general as a symbolic representation of who we're supposed to take from. Yeah, Carla.
Carla, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you guys, man. I just want to put my 2 pence in here, man. Yo, from out here looking in from outside, I'm going to be real honest, bro. What I'm seeing going on in St. Kitts and Nevis is not looking good at all, bro. But the end result of it, the poor people is just going to keep suffering, bro. We all going to suffer, man. Our society is like it's dysfunctional. There's no accountability. And the power dynamics is at work to either give away the place or sell out the place. And it's happening right before our eyes. And all we're really doing is just talking a lot, bro. It's time for action. And we are seeing what's going on with the PAM party right now. And from what I could see, man, this is just a lot of internal wranglings. You know, people are just fighting to get inside, right? Because the money is money. The money is on the inside. The kickbacks and all that stuff is inside in politics, inside in government, rather, I must say, right? But I could see, man, an event must happen in St. Kitts Nevis in order to take St. Kitts Nevis off of that destructive path. The EU situation that your topic is tonight,
The topic is not
The
the
EU is to be okay. Sorry.
No, we just mentioned the EU because the EU is what? So agriculture is really the topic is all about to diversify the economy.
That's correct, and I agree with you 100%. And you know, you got a lot of ideas, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got a lot of.
We
ideas.
all have ideas. Not just is the best ideas content. That's all it is. Speaking on my, you have other colors have that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but like you say, no land is bad land. So when you look at the southeast side, what Destiny is trying to get, man, if we was thinking about empowering our people, we would be trying to hold on those lands over there for agriculture. Man, I seen a video this week, bro, and I ain't tried in the regions over there in a long time. When I was a youth man growing up in Nevis, I don't even think that I remember going on that side that much. But when I look at that, bro, I seen so much. I seen like sugar apple growing over there, sorrel on the ground growing over there, some tall planting banana trees. They got people in the back growing bananas, sugar cane. Man, the land is not barren like how some people are saying, bro. And when we talk about diversification, we should invest in it first. And I'm gonna agree with you guys with that, right? And we catch the young kids them in school at a young age, and we try to make an impression on them to think about agriculture as a career. And if we catch them young, the next generation of kids coming up, man, I mean, certainly some people are going to be interested. And those lands over there on the southeast side should be level investment in agriculture. So if we lose those lands over there, man, it's a bad situation to go into. And lastly, I'm just say, man, the people might have to take back the country from these crooked, corrupted politicians. I'm going to leave it there, bro. I wish the people the best. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. You see, with agriculture policies, I mean, you have to have good agricultural practices. Because one of the things that is happening throughout the region is soil degradation, the damaging and the contamination of your soil. You need practices because we've been indoctrinated to use a lot of fertilizers and stuff like that and not have composting and all this different stuff. Let me take this call, Yahsonn. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture.
Yeah, blessed night.
Yes.
You say this to us as a people. The boy think he's smart, you know, the nigger man think he's smart. Everything. I notice, you know, everything around down. Hospital around down. That around down, this around down. Run down everything. Sell out the place. And be alone. But everything that I plan, right? We hand to him, brother. So you know, can walk. Good night.
Good night. But this is an international show, so when you said the boy, I don't know who you mean the boy. You know, if you want to call name. Can you know who you mean, who the boy be? If you're speaking about parliamentarian representative, you can say whoever this and that. If it's not breaking a lot to speak as those who might be a first list who understand who you talk about. So we got, but Yahsonn, with what is going on, as we said, with the diversify economy, you're not telling about agriculture and what they're going to plan is they're going to plan. None of them are going to plan, and that's the reality. So I would like to know what are their plan as he was to call and speak of what.
Hold on. You mean they plan for agriculture?
Well, yes. Well, that's the way, of course, but they plan me.
Okay.
Well, what they plan B? And when I mean plan, I mean everybody plan. Because you see, I want to hear NRP one, I want to hear all the Indians one, I want to hear PLP one, I want to hear the plan. You understand? Can we not even go over to the cannabis part? Because you see, the cannabis part they want to do for the tourists. And the tourists, what about, you know, for cannabis, you know, thinking about money. They're not thinking holistic. You see? That is what it is. They're thinking holistic and safety. Cannabis still have to be grown just like growing vegetables the same way as a cash crop. So you're going to incur all the same type of pest and mold and fungus the same way. So we're talking. Saying. So to train and land same way too. So everybody afraid for land. And the man afraid for land. Farmers are the same thing. Whether it's hemp and land, you want to grow it in the sky, I grow it in this water and grow it in this. These are the reality. So
Well,
You
Banky,
can't overlook policies.
at the same time, I know you say you ain't even started to talk about it yet, but the reality is, in terms of the discussions, because we're talking about CBI is ending, and can agriculture, be that aspect that could, be a revenue generator for the country. We must include the cannabis because it has now been placed under the Ministry of Agriculture in the sense of what we were just speaking about, the medicinal side of things.
Yes, son,
And,
the
and
reason I even cannabis to talk cannabis and not plant no food. Me not entertain it. That is my beauty. Because I have no interest in it
well,
because we not sustain ourselves with food, but we are going to plant weed. You see, this is the next
so
way to rush. This is the next way the government will rush to make money. And the next way of CBI. And that's what it is. We have to calculate what it is. This is not holistic. We can't give man and then not plant no food. We're not even sustain when it comes to food and pushing investing in the farmers. But you have to find big money to invest in who? People coming from outside? That's why we're not serious. That's the whole point that we're not serious.
Banky, I started with that, I said, and that's why I said the emancipation conversation is critical because Rastafari and the caller earlier who spoke to saying we need to forget about them and set up our own system and so on. An example was made.
We don't set up.
Leonard Howell had set up his own system in Jamaica, and we see what happened. So it's not going to be that easy because they're not going to want to have a generation of people not adhering to their system. So you would be a threat to the economy.
But Destiny wants to be own, but Destiny has go get their own system though. So you really saying. What you just say?
Destiny, here's the difference. The difference is Destiny is going to be facilitated by those who we elect to represent us. What we would want to put in place, they would fight us. And they have shown that they will fight us. Because even they will fight us. But I was getting to the point that here is it that they fight us so much for the cannabis. And like you mentioned, we took them to court. It's Rastafari took the police commissioner of St. Kitts and Nevis to court, And Rastafari beat them. So I don't know that is why they're still fighting Rastafari so much. We beat them on the privacy issue of cannabis. They opted to run with the public use of cannabis and deal with medicinal cannabis. Sankofa didn't take them to court for medicinal cannabis. But like you said, they see how they could make money from it. And so that is the area that they run with. And the reason why it has to be pointed out is because they see it as a part of a diversification plan for the economy. And we're talking about alternatives to the CBI, and we spoke to agriculture. And cannabis right now falls into the category of agriculture. Since medical cannabis is already under the Ministry of Agriculture and a medicinal cannabis authority has been launched, the issue is no longer whether it should exist, but how responsibly it can be developed. The government says that the framework is intended to support public health, economic opportunity, and national development. So this is a legitimate area for jobs, research, licensing, and downstream products if tightly regulated. So there's still opportunities in the industry, Banky. So I mean, yes, they run with it as a money opportunity, but there's opportunities in the industry, and we the nationals can make some money out of it as well too.
Right now they have shift chose the board over again, the members of a whole part of the board. So now they have added the Bureau of Standards to at Laplace, I understand. Agriculture Nevis Director, Mr. Randy Elliott, Randy no things, bro. Randy getting popular now. Randy make it Randy make it for the cannabis board now. You see what I mean? So let's see.
So then we can argue
the director and PS in Sinkits. Huh?
So then that means they can't argue now. So we're gonna get representation on the agriculture ministry in Nevis now.
Well, you have to start reading a little more.
That was one of the arguments that was made. One of the arguments that was made that was Sinkits doing whatever and then they're going to follow. Now we will have a member of the agricultural ministry on the board for cannabis, then we should see some changes here on Nevis. Let me go to some of the comments, Bankie, while we're waiting on some calls, because we've got a lot of comments, especially on the YouTube side of things. Jetty Taylor says, jail may be the next play. US will pay to hold deported people. Make use of that super jail. Never think I would say this. Zook was a better minister of agriculture than Samuel. Okay. Justin Huggins says the minister failed the people. Justin Huggins says we need a new minister of agriculture. Escari says, are farmers allowed to recycle seeds here on St. Kitts, or we use patented external seeds? I think we're still allowed.
Do you want? Is your sim
in the rule about
it? Do you want?
To recycle seeds. And as we speak about seeds, I am one who has always advocated for a seed bank. And I think we should begin to really seriously get into, getting seed banks together, especially with what's going on. We need to be able to store a lot of our indigenous seeds in the event of, crisis. Because some of these GMO seeds that they're creating, they are so strong that when they come in contact with the regular plants and so on, they change the genetics of those plants. So we got some serious things going on that we got to pay attention to. So you might be thinking, oh, well, I become vegan now and I'm eating healthy, but they're genetically modifying things on the vegan side. So you still have to be cautious of what you're eating. And so it's best to stick with your indigenous foods. And I would encourage people as much as possible. Save your golden apple, your mango, your sour sap, all of those kind of seeds, and we plant as much as possible. Petro Gemot says only a world war would ignite agriculture, not changing a minister. Bankie, Wilfred Pierce says, Bankie, you're not wasting your time. We will soon be driven to take our agriculture serious. It is written, drought and famine soon come. We better get ready. The world food system is under threat. Gotti Brown says the cruise is bringing their containers of food. Marsha said eventually we'll be able to provide food to them. I doubt that. Petro Gemot says, Yahsonn, so true. You must empower yourselves, however, has the most agricultural land, which is needed for food security. Petro Gemot says, don't forget the church as a chaplain in parliament. Escari says, we speak their languages, worship their gods, wear their clothes, hold their values. We were conquered by an empire and live within it. The sooner we accept that, sooner we can get to freedom. Government is theirs. Petro Gemot says, we have a president instead of a Gigi, yet we are members of the British Commonwealth, who King Charles III is the head of state. Escari says, this happened to many people before us. There have been many empires. We only think we are free, so we don't work on it. Wilfred Pierce says, Yahsonn, you are on the good path. We are still suffering from mental slavery. We need to come to the realization that we need to focus on the plants and herbs God bless us with, moringa and twatwa. Okay, I don't know what that is, but Escari says, I keep saying our government system is colonial. They just swap out the foreign governor for the local one. Exactly, nothing changed. The system is in place, and that is why it is effective. They have only replaced it with people who look like me and you, and they recognize that they can manipulate the system and continue to keep that upper class and lower class, and they just function like that. And that is why, it is so important for us to wake up and emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Escari says, last time the premier was here, he rubbed our powerlessness in our faces, said we voted for him, so we give him the power to make decisions for us. Nobody should be making decisions for us if we are free. Petro Gemot says, how will they make money from it? By controlling the local market, can't export legally? Burlby Jones says, sorry, but a hypothetical. If destiny don't materialize and the EU is successful at bringing down our CBI program and we don't diversify and invest in agriculture, we will be left scrambling. Escari says they also make the seeds infertile. Burlby Jones says, bear in mind the CBI is already failing, no longer a platinum program, and is contributing significantly less to the GDP of the country. I think it's down from 20% to about 5%. I stand to be corrected. Burlby Jones says the two ministers on both islands should be replaced. No doubt they have failed. Escari says, Burl, good point. Burl B. Jones says, how long can you store the same local seeds for? A lot of the local seeds have a lot of good years lifespan depending on the seeds. It just would take the conditions. It would be dependent on the conditions that they're stored under, because they would need to be in the correct temperature and stuff like that in order to be maintained, and could be last for a number of years. Some seeds have a lot of lifespan, but it would just be for you to do the research to figure out how long some seeds can stay for before they are reused. But good question. Bankie and callers and those who have been listening this evening and who have been weighing in, whether it's via calls or whether it's via messages on the the Facebook or the YouTube. We want to say thank you, and we do encourage you to continue to participate. It's been a while that we have not had an everything agriculture discussion, and so we're really happy that you are involved and so engaged in the discussions this evening. A lot of these things, like I said, we don't celebrate emancipation. I think the 1st of August, we do have the Christina disaster as well that is critical to our society. And Bankie and I over the years have been pushing the fact that we think that something needs to be done where the British government should have compensated the families of those who suffered on the Christina. And I think even now, something should be pushed so that those who have, survived, the survivors, the other family members and so on, should be given some level of compensation, because it wasn't their fault and it was ridiculous and it was an over booking of a ship that should not have had on so much people. And that was, at the time, it wasn't our Sinkish local government, because it happened before we had our independence. And so that would have been squarely under the British rule. These are some of the things that we still have to deal with as a result of legacy of colonialism. We still are paying for a governor general and a deputy governor general over $1 million. And we say we're independent. And we say that they're only a symbolic representation. Well, if when England gave us freedom or independence, so to speak, they never gave us any money. We had to take our own money, find money to build our own economy. And now we have done that. We still have to find monies from out of our taxes to pay for people who we don't want. Because we say we don't want no monarchy. We say we don't want no King Charles and no them people there. But the Governor General is the representation of King Charles, because they say they can't be everywhere. So they have somebody in their colony to represent them, because we're still a colony. So why are we paying them if it's only a symbolic representation? Why they don't pay? Why the monarchy don't pay for whoever the Governor General be then? Why should our taxes have to pay them? That is one thing. Why, if we have to make a law in Nevis, a piece of wood have to be in the assembly building, a piece of wood called a mace. If the mace is not in the building, we can't make no law. And that mace represents the king's authority. That is what the piece of wood, the talk about Obi and these things, and piece of wood represents the king's authority. And if that piece of wood is not in the House of Assembly, they can't make no laws. These are things that we still upholding, and we say that we're independent. And these are the things that those who we elect are still continue to perpetuate. I heard Dr. Ju say that he would have been making a move to become a republic before he leave. Well, I don't know when, because he's in the 4th year now, and I've never heard that discussion come back up again. To show that we're even serious about making any such changes. And that is why I'm saying we really need to be focusing on some of these discussions. These are things that we need to hear, but we're not going to hear it from them, because the status quo benefit them. And so the battle ain't broken, so why should we fix it? They're not going to try to change anything. They tell us the Constitution is flawed. All of them say the Constitution is flawed. And none of them make no effort to change the Constitution, and some of them are the top liars. Our leader in Nevis is one of the biggest and the most popular law firm, but can't change a comma in the Constitution. Yes, Bankie.
Our leaders can go and take loans from the SID, from National Bank and Social Security and all these different places to give Marriott's and Christopher Harbour and Kitty and all these different stuff that they should have shares in. But an incident that happened in 1970 on August 1st, where over 200 native have lost their life and still affected them up to this day. And then tomorrow they'll go and let some reef down by Hamilton Museum and up and down in St. Kitts by the obelisk. Okay, the taken them different symbols and stuff like that. Or we can't take 20 million and 30 million and pay it out to the survivors' families and stuff. That's the issue. That is an issue. So it's what I'm talking about. We can't be blamed. Whatever happened I don't keep his hand in. We money geared and assessed all over the world. That's why we're in this position, because we're not dealing right with those who have transitioned in and not paying the rightful thing to compensate. The universe don't make mistake in a virgin. We have too much of devils around here. I want to get in politics. Too much devils, too much hidden agendas. That is the problem around here. This is one of the largest strategy, virgin. How can you not compensate your own people? Which you say you love them, and the people still vote for these people. We head no good. I can't convince maybe my head no good, or my brain function, because I can't see these things any other way. Because
well, look how much land
sense,
we have corn land. After our foreparents done work for free for all these years, emancipation had to work for another 4 years for free as a part of a compensation package for some people. Get our lands, and our leaders who continue to perpetuate the system that was never designed for us, continue to hold on to the lands and talking about his crown lands and selling it back out to foreign developers, or swapping it out to foreign developers. You understand? I mean, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. The man swapping it out still to foreign developers and encouraging foreign developers to come in and get 2,600 and 2,400 acres of land to say that they are building a homeowners development, but yet they serious about agriculture. Yet they serious about reducing the food import bill from $200 million. How serious could they be when every year the budget for agriculture get lower and lower? Last year, the budget for agriculture federally went lower than it was. Same thing on Nevis, but yet they were trying to reduce a food import bill by 25%. That makes sense? How does that make any sense at all? Bankie?
Everything we're gonna have to have in order for this to work, it must be a national policy. You can hear me? Yahsonn. You make pause.
Yeah, Bankie.
You can't
Yeah.
You can't hear me.
I hear you now. I hear you now.
These gonna have to be national policies, Yahsonn. And you're gonna have to show a big part of everything else must be in agriculture when it comes to the budget, with training, infrastructure. If policies are not going to be put in place, we're wasting time. Everything must boil down to policies, and where farmers will be trained in controlling these monkeys, and we're going to do the monkey meat and all different. It's just a holistic way of getting done. I don't have all the ideas. There are a lot of people with ideas.
Bankie, apart from the holistic, you need a will. You need to have the people there who have the will, who have the interest, and who have the will to make it happen. You remember?
Do you hear anyone speaking about agriculture?
They would have spoken about Indian Castle, Bankie. They told you that Indian Castle, none could go at Indian Castle. The CBI going to do this and all that and all that. You had a willpower, right? You had the will.
What I'm talking, yes, and there's people who want to get into. I hear them talking about agriculture. That's my point. All those who's coming up want to get into government. All the PAM, all the PLP, I hear them speaking about agriculture. That they're not serious. That is my point. So why would I listen to people who cannot speak on agriculture when it comes to saving their own self? This is the reality. The talk about agriculture is just a blow over, and it done 30 seconds. Agriculture, you have to do everything. All the beef that is used by the abattoir is just used, most of it is just used for ground beef, you know. All the cow they use is for ground beef, and the bones are used for for broth in the hotels and stuff like that. So if you're going to go into animal, you have to everything must be done systematically. Not animals up and down the road, going up and down the place. You have to have things done right. These are what I'm talking about. It have to be a system, and the system is placed to done right. Like in Indonesia and places in America where it is a national project. It is training, it starts in the primary schools, in the preschools, come right up. We're engaged. It's not just about talking. The right things must be in place.
Okay, so here we have a policy, right, that says that this should have happened a long time ago, but going forward, any money made from the Citizenship by Investment Program, 10 to 15% going into agriculture fund to address our food import bill.
I want it shut down. That's what I want. I want to shut it down.
Until it shut down. Until it shut down.
And advocating for it to shut down too.
Whatever money they make, 10 to 15% must go into agriculture for agriculture development. And tourism, whatever money they make too, they need to put a 10% into agriculture as well to demonstrate that they're serious.
No. Me want a passport itself for agriculture purpose. No, me not encourage that. I want the program to shut down. Yeah. Me not advocate passport itself for agriculture. We got more than that. Passport just stop sell.
Hey, hold on. You not encourage it, you know? It don't happen. All me say. You use the money to do other things. Divert some. If you're serious about agriculture, divert some of what you use to do all kind of other things into agriculture. That's all me say, because it don't make. So you may just square over the spilled milk. You say you don't want it anymore, okay, I could agree with you. But while it's in place, all I'm saying is take some and divert some, so that by the time it's done, and it stop work, that we don't got everything together. Because you can't be telling me...
So how they can't take the same $5,000 for environmental levy? But they must go into the environment.
That's another one too. Take the $5,000 environmental levy and put it into agriculture development.
Or they're not
I agree with that too.
I'm just saying, into these things.
Huh?
Me not make excuse for failures in the budget.
No,
once you fail one time, me not get no second chance.
We are totally aware that they're not serious about that. Because remember, they're failing all these things, and the CBI is threatening to shut down and see what the plan is. Destiny is the plan. They don't have any other plan that they're selling us. The plan that they're selling us is destiny. So if you could see through that, then you could see that they really don't have any plan for agriculture. And we're talking about that. We're the ones who are bringing these ideas to the fore.
Carlo, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture.
Yeah, blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I blame them. They got a right to do what they feel like with the land, because we sit them here and let them do it. All the land them there, you know, and we not occupy none. You let the land them there, and we occupy. When a man wants to come up here, somebody start to make nice, oh, you're on government land. Well, it don't come tell you they're on government land. But who is the government? No, me and you. So these things must happen, Jed, because we not occupy what belongs to us. Good night.
Good night, Carlo. Yes, sir. We are coming to that time. We are about to wrap up, but we got to next week Tuesday. We'll be having our next guest, Dwight Cozier. And then the following Tuesday on the 11th, we have Carbo. Shout out Carbo up there in Fountain, where you get the best goat water. And also, big up my boy Kaki over the Nevis car rentals. When you're here looking at a car to rent at the same time, check out Kaki, where you get your car. And Kaki is one of the longest car rental person as a youth from way back in the 90s. Kaki do them things there. So Kaki, big up yourself. You don't know. Yahsonn, we got to come better as a people. When we come saving ourselves, when securing, keep our traditional herbal medicine alive, and all these things, because these are the things gonna keep us going and pass it down. All the hype and all the entertainment, I didn't mean nothing, virgin. All the sea water and all the people come around and all the driving around on cruise boat, I mean a thing. All they're doing on those things is eat and drink and eat and drink. It's just eating and drinking and doing on these boats and entertainment. And the food is the most important part because we burn fuel, so we eat all the time. And if we're not taking this thing up to this point serious, we are doomed. Really, really, really doomed. And all the signs are there. These governments around the world and the United Nations, at least they are up to no good. These other countries up to no good. They are going around to all these different Caribbean islands because we are considered a safe zone. Okay? It's one thing when it comes to these larger countries who love to have war. They never let go. That's when it's when they come to seek land, they want hundreds of acres. They never let go. They just let it to occupy this territory to come back for it. And these are the reality. You understand? So we're gonna have to either make up your mind to end up in the air and make up your mind, because we're gonna see one here. We're gonna see 50, 60,000 people around here. Because 20 years is short term, you know. And then you have 4 seasons down there, they're not paying any taxes. You hear the people say minimum, so million tax and 4 season villas and them, 40 and 30 and $20 million homes, and the down the building and next 80 villas, and the right hand side going towards Jessup, and they're going up upstairs and downstairs. So you see maybe about 4, 5, maybe about 3, 4 floors. They're gonna be going up in the air. Okay, they're not paying a tax, and we're talking about selling port. So houses and start paying the tax, the locals and paying the taxes, and they're bringing on more project with now paying the tax. What kind of bread will be bread? So what is bread? What kind of bread? What kind of bread that is?
Bankie, me don't tell you what the game plan is, you know. Me don't tell you what the game plan is. These developers, the man going to get some money, the man going to encourage them because there's always something for something. Give me something, and we're going to give you something. Whether it's campaign funding, whether it is, in our case, some money to set up a dialysis machine, some money to expand the pier, some money to, you know what I mean, to help keep you in power, to make you look good. Whatever it is, they're going to get something out of it because their basis is to stay in power. They want to stay in power. Election is around the corner. They're not going to get it from me and you, so they're not going to empower me and you. They're going to always try to find ways and try to also see as much as possible how they could give them these deals without we knowing about it. So now when we now are asking for a consultation, now when we are asking for transparency, when we are asking for accountability, we seem like the wrong one. We seem like the bad ones. Because how come I not been to do it before? We should have been doing it before. But we were not doing it, but we're doing it now. So it become a problem to, you know, that we hire you to give you a job and now we start to hold you accountable for the job that we give you.
Going and open since I left, December make 3 years. You hear? They might destroy food, 40 acres of food. So you must hold you accountable because quiet. Because it was under him start. You must hold accountable.
Right.
You must hold Kai accountable. You must hold the Trust Secretary accountable. You must hold the Premier accountable.
No. Drew tell me the other day that Nevis, you know Drew, you say you got hold Drew.
Zook. I said Zook.
Oh, Zook. I thought you said Drew.
Jeffers.
Okay, my bad. I was just about to tell you, Drew say he not got nothing to do with Nevis land. But go ahead. You say Zook. Go ahead.
Having nothing to do with Nevis land and having to sign a paper we're going to give rights over when it comes to no taxes and all kind of stuff is a federal responsibility. You can't come in up in taxes. You can't have your own police force and all these things. So all that's a failure right there. From just in agriculture failure alone in a virgin. Nobody's supposed to vote these people here, you know. For where we are to the economy, which is not, if agriculture is not booming and construction is not booming, your country will be stagnant. These are the reality.
The Premier says you all gave him a mandate. And he makes a mandate I'll give him to do. So yes, people, it was a pleasure. Let me see some of the last comments before we wrap up. Petro Jemat says, we are a republic that still uses the mace. LOL. Petrogemat says the problem is we are governed by wolves in sheep clothing. It makes sense sounding good, but no action. Probably waiting on a miracle. Yahsonn, you will end up landless with continuing CBI. Wilfred Pierce says yes, Escari, but God would soon force us to take agriculture seriously. Food and water shock, drought, and famine soon come. Escari says, but that's too late. Escari says that's another thing. If we tax these CBI citizens, they will renounce one time. Petrogemat says all animals are equal, but some are more equal than some. Jetty Taylor says, Bankie, how the goat water taste? You said that you said it's the best. But it's all Jetty Taylor never failed to come with a light moment at the end of the show, you know. But anyway, yeah, people, it was all good. I realized that you all were engaged in the conversation, and it shows that there's a lot of people that are still definitely interested in agriculture and what's going to happen. And food security, my people, is very, very important. This has nothing to do with politics. And you hear us talking about the politicians and those who are at the helm and so on. It's because we are passionate about agriculture. We have nothing personal against none of these people. Personal in the sense that they ain't doing their work and they ain't doing what they're supposed to do. And they got things that they could do and should do and are not doing, and we're calling them out. If they want to get upset for that, well, that's up to them. If they want to be up in their feelings and whatever, it's all up to them. But that's them. We are here to seek to empower the public, educate the masses, and give the masses some other things to think about.
Wasn't you to get the Minister of Agriculture here? Well, you not get him yet? Wow.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, you're smiling now.
Still working.
You're not to start.
I reached out to him, but I didn't get a response. I reached out to him, but I didn't get a response. I'm going to have to work on another
dollar. I bet you $1 don't come. Can't come. What you going to say? If the premier can't speak and his own work, what he going to come here and say? Now come. Man, I bet you $1.
I am going to take on the bet. I'm going to take on the dollar bet.
All right.
But people.
Adios, you are in the bet too, you know. Better I come.
While you're here,
I want to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ask Zook to, ask Zook to come to, ask
Zook. Ask Zook to come to?
Yeah, ask Zook, of course.
Okay, all right. So I want to encourage you to hit the like button. Go subscribe to our YouTube platform. Hit the like, subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you're informed every time we have a program here. Usually on Friday evenings from 7 to 9 is when we have Everything Agriculture. Sometimes we skip Everything Agriculture and we host an exclusive edition of the topics. So that is why for the past couple of weeks, we have had editions of the topics on a Friday night. But, we would have had one of our usual engaging discussions. And I'm realizing that I'm seeing new faces and I'm seeing people, and the people are commenting that they love the show, Bankie. They love the discussion. They love the engagement.
Of course.
And we really appreciate it. We want to encourage you to, while you're here, please just take a few seconds, go on over to the YouTube platform, subscribe, like. Make sure you like. Everybody who is logged on, like tonight, so that it can go out in the algorithms. The more you like it, the more you subscribe, the more you share, whether it's the Facebook or whether it's the YouTube or whether it's Twitch TV. We are simulcast on the 3 platforms. Whichever one, it boosts our algorithms and it means more people will hear us. So we want to thank all of you who are here. It's Friday, it's Culturama. A lot of you could have been doing a lot of other things this evening, but you're locked down here with us, and we're very, very grateful. That is why we take the time out to, read your comments. You say, Bankie, what Zook coming to say? And it say, what Zook coming to say? Anyway.
Talking agriculture, talking destiny, all them things we're talking, everything. Talking everything. Airport, everything we're talking.
Okay, all right. We hear that. So, people, it was really a pleasure being here with you guys on this Friday evening. Want to encourage you, if you're on the island, right, make sure that you make Heritage Village one of your stops. So when you're thinking of places to travel on Nevis or visit on Nevis, if you have never been to Heritage Village, make sure you come in the village. And don't just come in the village. It costs, I think, $4 US or 10 EC to do the tour of the houses, where you're gonna see things like your bath pan and your pail and your pot and your basin, your the bath pan with the scrubbing board, your goose, the old ice cream, your old sewing machine, the old radios, things like that. The bed the straw bed, the grass bed that you used to sleep on, and so on. So especially those of you who are from here originally, it's a kind of nostalgic feeling. And if you have young children who are descendants of Nevis but would have never really seen some of those things, the enamel plates and cups and so on, things like that you can give them the experience. They have also the old pit latrine, so to speak, and the outdoor shower and so on, and they have the
yeah. You have to tell the heritage people sponsor the show, yeah, you know.
Well, I am doing
you
it.
Have to tell
no problem.
That's tourism.
That's tourism. But
tell the
it's
manager
because
and get a sponsor. Don't sponsor the show.
Because one of the reasons I'm doing it, Bankie, I am here and there's a lot of people that come over there from Nevis and tell me they live in Nevis.
Tell them sponsor the show. Can we talk about it all the time?
While you do that, when you stop, remember to stop at the Heritage Cafe as well. That's where you'll find me. We do lunch from 11 until 4 p.m. inside the Heritage Village. Check out the Heritage Cafe. All right? So we want to welcome you and encourage you to do that while you're here on the island. Be sure to visit us. Also, we want to thank Real Entertainment Network team, definitely for keeping up and doing all the technical work behind the scenes and pushing out the clips and all that and all the ads and everything. Bankie, you're closing.
Yes, I just want to thank all those who come by who you're visiting at Masters last time I was Organics. Want to big up my boy. Original lyrics, man, you don't know it is, you're in the family here, you know what I mean? Beautiful family, big up yourself, enough respect. And today I get a visitor from the biggest, baddest blogger, my boy Obi Jack Boy, come check for me. Also, if you all have mangoes, have a few mangoes left and stuff like that. Also want to big up Landy and my boy Dian who came through. So just want to respect and big up all those who are on vacation and pass through by the shop. I also big up my boy Rapso who gone back up, who's here for the Mango Festival, helped me out a lot, come on the farm, give me some help and support. Respect yourself maximum. Very grateful for that. And those and all the schools who came earlier last week and the week before for the tours, and have some more school coming up, and that is on some vacation at some of these workshop and stuff going on. So they already booked to come at Shabazz Organics and get some learning experience about agriculture and how it's important like that from a young people perspective. So yes, I just want to thank all the listeners, those who tuning in this evening for Real Entertainment Network. They could be doing any other thing. Just will choose to spend their time with us. Annette, big up yourself. Enough respect all the time. And all those who tuning in, very grateful. And then we don't take your time for granted. And remember all those who have been doing the little farming. Also big up Just Spank. Yeah, man, Spanky and the Empress passed through. I always go to see Just Spank. Those are wonderful in high school many times for doing when you're doing farm tours. And big up Albert Manners. That is one who always keeping us going in high school and doing the planting and stuff. These are, I must say, stalwart. And we need to change the names and name people of these people. And I just want to say also, condolences to Miss Sylvine Henry family. She has transitioned. And we have interviewed Sylvine, very intellectual and outspoken person. This way, like her views are not. She's going to tell you how it is. And I'm one of those persons who appreciate that she had given me the opportunity to interview her. And she had put her story out there. So the information is there for the world to hear and listen. And beautiful. She'll be well missed. I know I didn't hear from time to time, but that is the first thing for me that she have been ill. And when I come around, I will give her, she will, I think we'll probably be some kind of family because she's something to the Freeman Nevis and family. So she'll get her more watermelon and little package and stuff like that. Beautiful lady, never met her. I think I've spoken to one of her daughters who had that interest in agriculture also. But definitely, whenever I hear the time of the arrangement, I'll definitely make it over to St. Kitts for that funeral. And then someone who is outspoken, the QC Wilkin. And you see, even with the Destiny Project, he have even, not because his son is the Attorney General, he feel about the project and highlighted a lot of stuff. It was controversial about this project, which he's not in favor of. So those two persons who have been putting out their work out there and keep all the government's foot to the fire. I mean, they have transitioned, so we keep losing our great ones. Hopefully, a street can be named off of Sylvian and others who have been. We got to really look in ways when it comes to putting national heroes as regular, not additional like a Boy Scout. Is madness. And put naming airports after them and all this different stuff, and schools after them like nobody else within the society, fisher folk, everyday people, taxi drivers, bus drivers. We got to commit on this. But folks, I really appreciate the time with you guys. Remember, it's a long weekend coming up tomorrow. I just say you can drop by at Mansell's Last Stop and get your car meal and fish. Also, if you're in St. Kitts, you can call and we'll ship your food over. Also on the Islander, it's not like you can call the numbers and your food being shipped over to St. Kitts. So that's why we're doing it now at the same time. So, and again, remember Mondays and Thursdays, we're doing the poetry thing, extending the hour a little longer up until after 8, 9 o'clock in the evening and stuff like that. So again, thanks for tuning in, and enough respect, and enjoy the festive season. Be safe. Always have a designated driver and take care of each other. Yahsonn?
Yeah,
Technician?
well, I just want to encourage the technician to add the poll for the Destiny project. We have a poll running here on Whale Entertainment Network, and we want to encourage folks to check out the platform on YouTube and, you know, give your opinion. It's either you're for the Destiny, you're against it. You don't have to give any information, your email, your name, or anything. You just click on the option that you choose. There are 3 options for the poll, and you just click on the option. So it's all anonymous. But we are doing our own poll because some are saying that, oh, we're only talking for ourselves. So we want to make sure that when we do speak again, we have numbers that we can say, hey, these people say that they are not for this Destiny. We want a poll, and these amounts say they're not for it, these amounts say they're for it, and these amounts say, well, they don't know enough about it, so they can't vote. Whatever the case may be, I think that's the option. So with that said, people, guidance and detection, enough love, everybody. See you guys next week, Tuesday. Well, next week, Monday on the platform when we have another edition of Quality Time with Alan. Very good program. I would encourage you guys to log in and listen to that as well. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have Dwight Cozier. Dwight Cozier has a pending case right now with the government, and we're going to hear more about that and, you know, where it is, among other things that we're going to be talking about here on another edition of the topics. So until next week, guys, enough love, guidance, and detection. Love every time.
It's everything agriculture with Bankie and Yahsonn. Talking food security, cannabis, farming, livestock, fisheries, and everything agriculture. Every week on Real Entertainment Network. Food security, that's the priority. Plant the food locally, feed the whole community. Everything agriculture, building for the future. Bankie and Yahsonn bringing solutions for the islands and the nation. Too much food coming overseas. One disruption bring the country to knees. One storm, one war, one delay. Supermarket shelves empty same day. So we have to plant more yam and dasheen. Fresh vegetables keep the people clean. Raise more goat, more chicken too. Local farming must come true. Every backyard can grow something. Pepper, thyme and pumpkin. Teach the youth to love the soil. Agriculture reward the tile. Hey, if the import stop tomorrow, who gon' feel we through the sorrow? Dig this Cannabis industry growing fast, creating opportunities built to last. Medicinal herbs and business too. Education changing how we view. Greenhouse farming changing the game. Hydroponics helping the grain. Fishery, livestock, fruit tree line. Agriculture make the island shine. Support local